Last, now everybody go to breakfast.
Welcome back to my channel. Like I said, it has been a hot minute. I'm still a nurse. I am 31 years old now. The last video I posted on YouTube was literally about new grad anxiety. That anxiety doesn't go away, but it does get better because you get more comfortable with yourself as a nurse. And let me tell you what, I don't know if I'll never just not have anxiety. Basically, the last 5 years of being a nurse have been actually like what I kind of dreamed about. Last video, I talked about things, new nurse anxiety. I was still on a pediatric hemonc and bone marrow transplant unit, working night shift. So I took a travel position a year after being like a new grad nurse. I still would consider myself that I was still a new grad nurse after a year, but I was working like 5 or 6 nights a week, and I felt like I just had that experience. Like, people say don't go to travel nursing after like a year. I felt like I was ready. I stayed on that unit for a year looking at travel assignments, and I actually took one through Aya. I applied, my recruiter called me, they said, hey, they accepted you off of basically your resume. I didn't do an interview. I put my 2 weeks in and I moved from Gainesville, Florida to Portland, Oregon. I remember telling my mom, I said, oh yeah, like I got that position in Portland. And my mom literally said, oh, like Portland, Maine? No, honey, Portland, Oregon. I said my goodbyes. Was I absolutely terrified? Yeah, terrified and excited. I had 3 suitcases. I found this beautiful apartment on Furnish Finder. I had no idea. I had never been to Oregon, never been to Portland. It was probably the best thing that I could have ever done for myself. Yeah, so I stayed there for 11 months. I did my first bone marrow transplant, and I felt like I worked with some of the most knowledgeable nurses. To this day, some of those nurses are some of my closest friends. After that contract, after the 11 months, I went to Seattle. I was very depressed in Seattle. It was probably one of my hardest contracts that I took. Such a big hemonc and bone marrow transplant unit. Some days like I had the worst anxiety being in Seattle. I definitely would say I got burnt out of being a travel nurse on my second contract in Seattle. That's okay. That's life. It was a hard contract for my mental health and just like me as a nurse in my career. I really questioned why I became a nurse on that contract. And after that, I went back to Portland because I loved it so much. But at that point, like, burnout as a nurse was shot. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't the same going back to Portland the second time and for the third contract, because I was burnt. I was burnt out. And I think it was because like also that first contract that I took during COVID, I was working once again 4 or 5 nights again. So like at that point, like it had been like almost 2.5 years of me just working 5 or 6 nights a week, or even days, because I did switch to days in Portland. But still, like when you're taking care of sick kids, it wears on you. It does. And with that being said, after Portland, I moved to Montana, staff position on a pediatric unit. And I can honestly say that that was probably the best thing that I could have done for myself, like as a nurse. You have someone's whole entire world in your hands for 12 hours. So switching to just doing pediatrics, and I still did do and give chemo, it was just different because the kids weren't high risk. It was just nice to switch it up. It was nice to learn a different just like specialty. Not that pediatrics was different, but just having more of ped surg background. And my next adventure is I took a drum roll. I took a pediatric summer camp position. Yeah, for kids, every week it's a different like chronic illness. They do have cancer patients, they have like heart transplant patients and heart conditions and so on. It's gonna be at a summer camp, so your girl is gonna be nice and tan, and it's gonna be such a nice experience because it's for 8 weeks and I get to be outside and I still get to do what I love. I still get to be around kids, I still get to be a nurse, Yeah, like that is the best thing about my nursing degree, is that I don't always have to be bedside. And when am I ever not gonna like have a full 8 weeks off in the summer without having to take PTO? So I'm excited. I feel like I've definitely been like, gosh, like I don't want to do bedside, but I don't want to do outpatient either, because I don't want to work 5 days a week and just have my weekends off. I don't like that. The greatest thing about working bedside is you can work your 3 days, or you can do like a stretch of 6 and have like 8 days off. Like, did I ever think that I was gonna be a summer camp RN for 8 weeks? Absolutely not, because I thought that my only thing was gonna be like bedside for 15, 20 plus years, but it's not. And there's so many resources to like find different RN jobs. So if you're new to nursing, I hope you are loving it. If you're in nursing school, just keep going. It does get better. Nursing school literally almost was the death of me. I can't tell you how many times I cried or how many times I made myself sick over taking a nursing exam. Your girl literally passed out. I had a rotation, a clinical rotation on a adult renal floor, and the nurses had like 9 patients each. Welcome to Florida. And I just remember like looking at my like patients that I got with this nurse, and I was standing in the nurse's station and I'm like, I passed out. I don't know why I passed out, but I passed out. We were even doing anything. We were in the nurse's station. The shift hadn't even started, you guys. It hadn't even started. And that pretty much sums up nursing school for me. So keep going. It's always gonna get better. Also, subscribe to my page, follow. I don't know what YouTube even calls it anymore. Is it subscribe and follow? Or is it just subscribe and like? It's subscribe and like, I think. Comment down below content ideas for me to post. If not, that's okay. I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this because I can. Hope you feel seen today.
You know what it is.